Hello, I'm Daniel Pinoles, and this is my video interview for residential life to reapply for the residential advisory position. Question 1. What motivated your interest to return as a student staff member to residential life? How does a student staff position align with your personal, professional, and academic goals? So, I thoroughly enjoyed my experience as an RA this past year, and it left me wanting to continue to improve myself in different aspects of the job. I want to continue to further build my community and engage with residents to make sure that this aspect of their college experience is memorable and beneficial to them. In terms of how it aligns with my personal and professional goals, I want to be seen as a leader, and this position allows me to achieve this goal. I am seen as a resource to others, and it's something that I've grown to adapt to. Being an RA has afforded me the knowledge to improve upon my leadership skills, especially in terms of communication and time management. My improvement and implementation of these skills has allowed me to become a strong member of my team and has allowed me to succeed in difficult aspects of the job, such as programming, roommate conflicts, and just being able to effectively direct residents to different resources, or even be a resource myself if I ever need to be. In terms of how it aligns to my academic goals, I feel like this is most prevalent through the social justice aspect of the position. Often my academic ordeals have made me put social justice at the forefront of this position. Through programming and just even through casual conversation, I've been able to make residents more aware of social justice topics such as race, gender, class, environmentalism, and more, so on and so forth. But yeah, moving on to question 2. What do you believe your role is as a student staff member in creating a safe and inclusive living environment in residential life? How have you incorporated diversity and social justice in your work as a student leader? So for me, my role in creating a safe and inclusive environment relies on me promoting diversity and social justice. So creating a safe space to me means being able to bring individuals together that normally wouldn't come together, and make them feel comfortable in that kind of setting. I think the best way for me to really make this work is through programming, because it provides a setting necessary to promote an inclusive learning environment and living environment. I think it promotes topics such as social justice and inclusion, and doing this makes residents feel like they're welcome and part of the community, and they'll be able to see me as a resource, as I'm the one putting on the programs and providing the conversations. In terms of how I've already incorporated diversity and social justice as a student leader, I think that this has been most prevalent through my programming. Looking specifically at one program that I did a karaoke night where we analyzed different lyrics and songs that all pertain to social justice and looked at the impact that they had on each of us, depending on what the song was and what the theme was that it was covering. I think that this program was extremely beneficial to residents because it incorporated social justice themes through music that residents listen to every day. They were able to listen to the music and see the themes that were applied, and as well as look at its significance to modern day problems. We also looked at the different music videos that each song pertained to, and looked for different themes and symbols that were prevalent towards social justice themes. Yeah. Moving on to question 3. Share one pitfall, challenge that you've encountered related to time management. related to balancing your academic coursework and position. How will you incorporate what you've learned from your pitfall/challenge into your work as a returner? So for me, time management was something that I had to really gradually improve on, but it's still something that I have an issue with from time to time. This was most apparent for me during finals week last quarter, during our first quarter being my first quarter being an RA. It was difficult to manage being an RA with being a student, especially during the hectic time of finals week, and it was something that really challenged me mentally and physically. I was struggling to keep up with tasks and struggling to really maintain a routine that I had prior to that week, and it was really showing in the quality of my work, as I wasn't able to do things to the best of my ability. Learning from this, it became really important for me to really assess the work that I could handle and look at the work that I could do to the best of my ability. So I know that to be a good RA and be a good student, I need to be able to find a good balance between the amount of academic work and the amount of residential life work that I can do. So may that be like maybe cutting a course or talking to my supervisor and seeing if I can extend a deadline should I really have the necessity to. I can communicate that or make it happen. So implementing these types of strategies in the future will allow me to be a better asset to the residential life team, no matter where I end up being. Question 4, describe a peer or resident conflict that you've encountered as a current student staff. How did you respond? So a resident conflict that comes to mind is one in which two roommates who are residents of mine were arguing, and it escalated to the point where it led to property damage within the complex. So I received an email from the resident that same night that it happened, and I immediately contacted both my resident director and assistant resident director to see the steps that I needed to take to assess this incident and manage the situation. So after going through their guidelines, I proceeded to speak to both residents and understand their perspectives of the incident. I did this separating them at first. So I talked to one resident first, and then I talked to the next resident after. And from there, I was able to bring both residents together once they felt like they could speak to one another, so they could understand each other's perspective of the situation. And this ended up being really beneficial, as they were more understanding of each other once they spoke calmly to one another and were willing to really listen to each other and understand the perspective that each resident had. They now have a working relationship, and no other incidents between the two have occurred. I feel like being quick to contact both my resident director and my assistant resident director about the situation was incredibly beneficial to managing the situation, as it allowed me to quickly assess the steps that I needed to take to come to a solution before things would escalate further. Thank you.